everyone, I'm Lisa from Polite Paws Dog Training and Products, and today I'm actually going to be showing you a brand new product that we're developing that is try and replace our shock collar containment fences. Unfortunately, people often get to, last sort of resort where they're having trouble keeping their dog on their property and they don't really know where to turn. So a lot of people do actually employ using a shock collar. Now the biggest problem with that is that shock collars actually do cause psychological damage in a lot of dogs. They can develop then anxiety, which is worse than what they started with, because most of the time if a dog is escaping, it's due to separation anxiety, storm phobias. It can also be issues with boredom, prey drive, chasing animals. The issue is that most of the time if it's anxiety, by shocking a dog and causing pain and discomfort, through classical conditioning, that pain and discomfort can actually be associated with lots of other things in the environment, like the neighbours, contractors, your own children, lots of situations that actually can end up much worse than what you had in the beginning. So what we're trying to do is create a product that can actually keep these dogs safe who are trying to escape from the property, but also they're not going to have the same fallout. So we're not going to be increasing that anxiety while we're trying to resolve the root cause of the problem. Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to put this up. Now it's actually really easy, even one person can do it. You only need some really basic stuff. You just need a marker, tape measure, and a really small step stool. So we're actually first going to mark up the tree 2.5 meters to get our bolts in the correct spot. Okay, now that that's marked, we're going to drill our hole. Now your kit will come supplied with the drill bit that you require, so all you actually need is a drill. Make sure you drill right to the very end so your bolts are secure as possible. All the way. Done. Now the next step is popping in your eye bolt, and I've just got a temp peg. You can actually use anything to pop this in, just need to be able to slide it through, so anything will work. Go as far as you can with your hand, and then get your temp peg. There we go, all the way in. Okay, so once you've got both of your eye bolts in, you actually now need to hook up your end that doesn't actually have the adjusters on it, so just has your D-shackle ready to go. So we're going to pop this one up on the eye bolt. Just hook it on like that. All connected. Now we're going to go onto the other side. Okay, so once you've hooked on one side, then we've actually got to hook on our other side. And this side has our adjuster as well. So if you find once you've got it up there that's a little bit loose, just a little bit, you can actually shorten this up and tighten it up. So we're just going to hook this up on that eye bolt. Just like that. And you're done, your line is up. Okay, so now that you've got your line up in the sky, you actually have to attach your dog line. So your dog line has D-shackle, so you can attach it onto your pulley on the line. And at the other end, it has your dog clip. And there are actually two types of dog clips. One of them has a safety closure. This is for your bigger dogs. And then there is also a smaller clip as well for our smaller dogs. The line, as you can see, is really nice and light, so it doesn't put any pressure on the dog. They barely even feel that it's there. So connecting this onto your pulley is really simple. And the best part about this is, if you aren't using it for a period of time, you can just disconnect the line, so it doesn't have to be on there all the time. Done. So in less than 10 minutes, you have a safe dog. Okay, so adjusting your top line. If you find that the top line is way too long or way too short, there will be a little bit of excess on your line. So when you send us your measurements for your point to point on your trees, or point to point between your house and your tree, or your caravan and a tree, we will have a little bit of adjustment. So what you can actually do is undo these two clamps here. The spanner will be supplied with your kit, so you can undo these, slide the line through or back again, and that will give you some adjustment. And also, once the line is up, if you feel that it's a little bit too slack, you want a little bit of slack in the line but not too much, this adjuster here, you'll be able to loosen up these two nuts on either end and turn it. So this turnbuckle will help to give you a little bit of shortening of the line or lengthening if needed. Okay, so a little bit of a safety thing that we've put into the system is actually stoppers on your top line. So if you have a look at our top line up here, you can actually see that there is a stopper here that will prevent the pulley from moving right to the very end of the line. Now, the benefit of this is that if your dog hits the end of the line in this direction, they can't tangle themselves around your trees. So this is really, really important for safety. So when you're actually popping those stoppers on, we'll have them on the line for you, but you might need to adjust them. You will actually be able to get to the point where your dog can't quite get around the tree. So this is your goal when you're setting up your stoppers. Okay, so you can see I've got my pulley up the top that can slide along the top line. Connected to it will be your dog. And with the clip, what you want to aim for is just touching the ground. If it's just touching the ground, by the time it's connected onto your dog's harness, you'll find that it won't get tangled in their legs. So it's really, really important, the height. If you decide to go for a longer line so that the dog has a little bit more room to move, or you want to be able to get into a fairly deep kennel, something like that, absolutely, the line can be made longer, or you can drop your SkyLine, your top line down, so that then they actually have a bit more freedom of movement. If you find that you want to adjust your line, so for the dog you want to be able to make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, there will be some extra wire, and you will be able to adjust these two little clamps here to extend or shorten this dog line. The spanner to do that with will actually be supplied with your kit as well, so you don't need to worry about trying to find one of those. Okay, so as you can see, our dog is attached here with a clip to a harness. And then that's heading up to our pulley up here.